Montenegro contains 10 places that will completely surprise you, and most people have never heard of them. While millions of tourists crowd Croatia's beaches and pay premium prices in Switzerland, Montenegro offers something different. This tiny Balkan nation provides experiences that rival the world's top destinations, but with better value and far fewer crowds. This country, smaller than Connecticut, contains everything from Mediterranean coastlines to Alpine peaks, from ancient forests to dramatic canyons, often within an hour's drive of each other. Europe's deepest canyon, a 1,000-year-old forest, a monastery carved into a cliff face, and an artificial island with an incredible story, Montenegro's landscapes seem designed to amaze. Here's what makes Montenegro special. You can have breakfast by a fjord-like bay, lunch in alpine meadows, and dinner beside a glacial lake, all in the same day. Tourism is growing rapidly here, and infrastructure is developing fast. The Montenegro you can experience today will be very different in just a few years. But here's what makes this even more urgent. What I'm about to show you are places so incredible, they seem designed to amaze. These are the most amazing places in Montenegro that showcase why this country is becoming Europe's must-visit destination. From coastal beauty to mountain wilderness, each location offers something extraordinary. Let's explore Montenegro's greatest natural wonders. This isn't Norway, it's the Mediterranean's most dramatic coastline, and it will change everything you think you know about European bays. The Bay of Kotor looks like a fjord, feels like a fjord, but it's actually something far more rare, a submerged river canyon that creates the most spectacular coastal scenery in the Mediterranean. It's not technically a fjord, but it's more dramatic than any real one. At its heart lies Kotor Old Town, a medieval maze so perfectly preserved it feels like stepping through a time portal. These aren't reconstructed tourist attractions, these are authentic 12th century streets where locals still live and work. But here's what makes this place truly unique. Mountains rise nearly vertical from the sea, creating a landscape that shouldn't exist in the Mediterranean. You can literally touch the water and look up at peaks over 1,700 meters high. The bay's unique shape creates mirror-perfect reflections that photographers spend years trying to capture elsewhere. The water is so still in early morning that mountains appear to continue infinitely downward. Every corner reveals another incredible view. Baroque churches perched on cliff edges, medieval fortifications spiraling up mountainsides, and tiny fishing villages that seem painted into the landscape. While Dubrovnik struggles with cruise ship crowds and Venice implements visitor limits, the Bay of Kotor remains surprisingly peaceful. You can explore these medieval streets and photograph these views without fighting for space. The bay transforms throughout the day like a living artwork. Morning mists reveal mountain peaks like islands floating in clouds, afternoon light turns water into liquid gold, and evening creates silhouettes so dramatic they seem designed for film. But wait, this coastal paradise is just the beginning. What I'm about to show you will completely change how you think about mountain landscapes. "2,000-meter peaks that rise like ancient cathedrals, carved by glaciers into shapes so perfect they seem designed by nature's greatest architects." This is Durmitor National Park, where Montenegro reaches for the heavens. At 2,523 meters, Bobatov Kuk stands as Montenegro's crown jewel, but it's the drama of the approach that takes your breath away. At sunrise, Black Lake becomes a mirror so perfect it doubles the mountains, creating an optical illusion where earth and sky become indistinguishable. This single view has made photographers abandon their planned destinations. Durmitor contains 18 glacial lakes, each one a different shade of impossible blue. These aren't just scenic water features, they're remnants of the Ice Age, preserved at altitudes where time moves differently. The hiking here transcends typical mountain experiences. You're not just walking trails, you're traversing landscapes that existed before human civilization, through valleys carved by glaciers. Durmitor transforms completely with seasons. Summer brings emerald meadows dotted with wildflowers, while winter creates a snow kingdom where peaks disappear into clouds and silence becomes profound. This is one of Europe's last strongholds for large predators. Brown bears, wolves, and golden eagles still rule these mountains, creating an ecosystem that functions exactly as it did thousands of years ago. While the Swiss Alps charge hundreds for cable car rides to crowded viewpoints, Durmitor offers more dramatic scenery, authentic wilderness experiences, and solitude that's impossible to find elsewhere in Europe. The altitude and lack of light pollution create stargazing opportunities that rival the world's best dark sky reserves. On clear nights, the Milky Way reflects in the glacial lakes, creating a cosmic mirror that connects Earth to infinity. But here's where Montenegro gets truly impossible. You can experience these Alpine wonders and still reach the Mediterranean for dinner. And our next destination? It's straight out of a fairy tale. A 600-year-old fishing village turned into the world's most exclusive resort, connected to a pink sand beach that seems painted by master artists. Sveti Stefan represents Montenegro's most remarkable transformation. What was once a simple fishing village has become a playground for Hollywood stars and billionaires, but the medieval charm remains completely intact. The beach itself defies Mediterranean norms. This isn't typical golden sand. It's pink, created by crushed coral and shells that create a color so unique it stops visitors mid-stride. The water clarity rivals the Caribbean. You can't stay here unless you're a millionaire, but the view is free, and what a view it is. Every angle reveals another perfect composition of medieval architecture, pink sand and turquoise water. The island transforms at sunset into something from a dream. The medieval stone buildings glow golden, the pink sand becomes coral-colored, and the entire scene reflects in water so still it doubles the magic. While Portofino and Monaco offer luxury with crowds, Sveti Stefan provides exclusivity with authenticity. The medieval architecture isn't reconstructed, it's preserved, creating a luxury experience rooted in genuine history. Here's the secret most visitors miss. While the island itself is private, the mainland beach offers the same pink sand, crystal waters, and dramatic views without the luxury price tag. This combination of medieval charm, pink sand, and mountain drama creates the most romantic setting in Europe. More marriage proposals happen here per square meter than anywhere else in the Balkans. Sveti Stefan's position creates natural protection from wind and waves, making the water consistently calm and clear. This microclimate extends the swimming season and creates perfect conditions for water activities. But Montenegro's magic extends far beyond coastal beauty. What comes next will literally take your breath away if you can handle the adrenaline. The deepest canyon in Europe hides an adrenaline secret that transforms adventure seekers into lifelong Montenegro converts. At 1,300 meters deep, Tara River Canyon cuts through Montenegro like a geological lightning bolt. This isn't just Europe's deepest canyon, it's the second deepest in the world. The Tara River itself is miraculous, one of Europe's last wild rivers, so pure you can drink directly from it. The water maintains an impossible turquoise color year-round. The best rafting happens in sections locals call the washing machine, Class 4 rapids that professional guides use for training, offering the ultimate adrenaline rush for experienced rafters. The canyon offers Europe's most dramatic ziplining experience, a 1,100-meter line suspended 350 meters above the river. For 90 seconds, you're flying through space with only canyon walls below. The rim trails provide perspectives that challenge human scale. You're literally walking along the edge of Europe's greatest natural sculpture, with views that stretch across mountain ranges. This pristine ecosystem supports Europe's largest populations of brown bears and wolves. The canyon's isolation has preserved wildlife that disappeared elsewhere decades ago. Unlike commercialized adventure destinations, Tara Canyon offers authentic wilderness experiences. You can camp under stars so bright they reflect in the river and experience silence so profound it becomes meditation. Spring brings wildflower meadows along the rim. Summer offers perfect rafting conditions. Autumn paints the canyon walls in impossible colors, and winter creates ice sculptures that transform the landscape into crystal art. While Interlaken and Chamonix overflow with tourists and charge premium prices, Tara Canyon offers more dramatic landscapes, better adventure opportunities, and authentic wilderness experiences at a fraction of the cost. But wait until you see what's coming next. We're about to step into a world that existed before human civilization even began. Trees older than most European civilizations still grow here, creating a living museum that predates human history by millennia. Biogradska Gora National Park protects Europe's last remaining primeval forest, trees that have stood for over 1,000 years, untouched by human hands, growing in their original patterns since before the Roman Empire. At the forest's heart lies Biogradska Lake, a glacial mirror that doubles the ancient trees, creating reflections so perfect they blur the line between reality and dreams. Walking among these ancient giants changes you. You're experiencing ecosystems that function exactly as they did thousands of years ago. Fallen trees become nurse logs, moss carpets stretch unbroken for miles. This untouched ecosystem supports species that vanished elsewhere in Europe. The forest's isolation has created a time capsule of biodiversity that scientists study to understand how European forests originally functioned. The trail system reveals forests within forests. Each elevation creates different ecosystems, from lakeside meadows to alpine forests, all connected by paths that animals have used for millennia. Each season transforms the forest completely. Spring brings wildflower carpets under the canopy. Summer creates cathedral-like shade. Autumn explodes in impossible colors, and winter transforms everything into a snow kingdom. While Black Forest and Sherwood Forest offer reconstructed experiences, Biogradska Gora provides authentic primeval wilderness. You're not walking through managed forests. You're experiencing Europe as it existed before human civilization. The interplay of light and shadow creates photography opportunities that change throughout the day. Early morning mist transforms the forest into an ethereal dreamscape, while afternoon light creates golden cathedral effects. The forest and lake create a perfect symbiosis. The trees filter and purify the water, while the lake provides moisture that sustains the ancient ecosystem. This balance has remained unchanged for thousands of years. Here's where things get even more incredible. We're about to visit a place where Montenegro literally touches the sky. Stand where Montenegro's soul touches the sky, at a monument that offers the most spectacular 360-degree views in Europe. Lovćen National Park's crown jewel is the Njegos Mausoleum, positioned at 1,657 meters on Montenegro's spiritual summit. This isn't just a monument, it's a pilgrimage site that connects visitors to Montenegro's heart and soul. The approach requires climbing 461 steps carved into the mountain, but each step reveals expanding views that culminate in one of Europe's most dramatic panoramas. The physical effort becomes spiritual journey. From the mausoleum, you can see the entire country, from the Adriatic Sea to the highest peaks, from ancient forests to modern cities. On clear days, the view encompasses 5 countries and seems to stretch to infinity. At this altitude, eagles soar at eye level, creating moments where you're sharing airspace with some of Europe's most magnificent predators. The sensation of standing above clouds while eagles circle is indescribable. The mausoleum's position creates perfect conditions for both sunrise and sunset photography. Morning light reveals the Adriatic Sea like a silver mirror, while evening transforms mountain ranges into layered silhouettes. This site represents Montenegro's spiritual center, where the country's greatest poet Prince rests in a tomb that connects earthly achievement to heavenly aspiration. The monument's design integrates perfectly with the natural landscape. The park offers trails that traverse from Mediterranean vegetation to alpine meadows. You can hike from sea-level climate to mountain conditions in a single day, experiencing Europe's most compressed biodiversity. Each season transforms Lovćen completely. Spring brings wildflower meadows, summer offers perfect hiking conditions, autumn creates color displays visible from space, and winter turns the park into a snow kingdom above the clouds. While Matterhorn and Mont Blanc offer single-direction views, Lovćen provides complete geographical context. You understand Montenegro's entire landscape from one position. But the adventure isn't over yet. Our next destination will show you wildlife spectacles that rival the greatest safaris on Earth. A wetland so pristine it's home to species found nowhere else in Europe, creating a bird-watching paradise that rivals the world's greatest wildlife destinations. Skadar Lake hosts more bird species than some entire countries. Over 280 species call this wetland home, including some of Europe's last remaining populations of endangered species. The lake's unique ecosystem creates perfect conditions for both wildlife and traditional life. Local fishermen still use techniques passed down for generations, navigating channels through water lily fields. From May to September, the lake transforms into Europe's largest water lily garden. Millions of white and yellow blooms create floating meadows, so extensive they're visible from space, with fragrance that perfumes the entire region. The lake offers boat tours that reveal hidden channels, secret beaches, and wildlife viewing opportunities that change throughout the day. Early morning tours provide the best wildlife viewing, while evening tours offer spectacular sunset photography. Skadar Lake supports Europe's largest pelican colony. Watching these magnificent birds fish in coordinated groups creates wildlife spectacles that rival African safari experiences. The sight of hundreds of pelicans taking flight simultaneously is unforgettable. The lake contains several island monasteries that have operated for centuries, accessible only by boat. These spiritual sites offer perfect combinations of cultural history and natural beauty. Each season brings different wildlife experiences. Spring migration creates bird diversity that overwhelms even experienced birders. Summer brings perfect boating conditions. Autumn migration doubles the bird populations, and winter concentrates species for easier viewing. The lake's microclimate creates perfect conditions for wine production. Local vineyards produce wines that reflect the unique terroir created by the lake's moderating influence on temperature and humidity. While Danube Delta and Camargue offer crowded wildlife experiences, Skadar Lake provides authentic interactions with nature. You can spend entire days without seeing other tourists while experiencing world-class wildlife diversity. What's coming next will blow your mind. We're about to see architecture that literally defies the laws of physics. A monastery carved into a vertical cliff face defies physics, creating Europe's most impossible architectural achievement and most powerful pilgrimage site. The approach to Ostrog Monastery builds anticipation like a spiritual thriller. The winding mountain road reveals glimpses of white buildings that seem to float in the cliff face, creating an optical illusion that challenges reality. The monastery wasn't built and then attached to the cliff. It was carved directly into the rock face, with chambers that extend deep into the mountain. The white facade is just the visible portion of a complex that disappears into solid rock. The final approach requires climbing a steep path that pilgrims have used for centuries. This physical challenge becomes spiritual preparation, with each step increasing the sense of approaching something miraculous. The monastery's interior reveals chambers carved from living rock, where monks have maintained continuous worship for over 400 years. The natural rock formations create acoustics that turn every prayer into otherworldly experience. From the monastery's position, visitors experience views that stretch across entire mountain ranges. The sensation of standing in a building that's part of the mountain creates unique connection between human achievement and natural grandeur. Ostrog attracts pilgrims from all faiths and cultures, creating a spiritual melting pot where Orthodox Christians, Muslims, and Catholics pray together. This universal spiritual magnetism transcends religious boundaries. The monastery spring produces water that pilgrims believe has healing properties. Whether through faith or the unique mineral content from filtering through ancient rock, visitors report transformative experiences. The monastery's white facade creates dramatic light effects throughout the day. Sunrise turns the building golden against dark rock, while sunset creates a beacon effect visible for miles. While Meteora and Mount Athos offer impressive cliff monasteries, Ostrog's integration with the rock face creates the most dramatic architectural achievement. It's literally part of the mountain. But here's something even more surprising. We're heading to Europe's highest town, where the air is so thin it creates the most incredible adventures. At 1,456 meters, this town is closer to the stars than the sea, creating Europe's highest municipality, where thin air produces thick adventures. Žabljak serves as the gateway to Durmitor National Park, but the town itself offers charms that most visitors overlook. This is authentic mountain culture preserved at altitude, where isolation protected traditions from modernization. Winter transforms Žabljak into a playground that locals keep secret from tourists. Traditional skiing on handmade wooden skis, ice climbing on frozen waterfalls, and snowshoeing through silent forests create authentic mountain experiences impossible to find elsewhere. Summer brings different magic. The altitude creates perfect conditions for hiking and mountain biking, while the clear air and lack of light pollution make Žabljak one of Europe's premier stargazing destinations. The town's restaurants serve mountain cuisine that reflects centuries of high-altitude living. Local specialties include cheeses aged in mountain caves, lamb raised on alpine meadows, and honey from beehives that operate at altitudes where most plants can't survive. Žabljak maintains traditional crafts that disappeared elsewhere: wood carving, wool weaving, and cheese-making techniques that produce products impossible to find in commercial markets. Each season transforms Žabljak completely. Spring brings wildflower meadows that reach the town's edges. Summer offers perfect hiking weather. Autumn creates color displays that make the town look painted, and winter turns it into a snow kingdom. The town's position provides access to 3 national parks within an hour's drive: Durmitor, Biogradska Gora, and Lovćen. This makes Žabljak the perfect base for exploring Montenegro's mountain wilderness. Traditional festivals celebrate mountain culture with music, dance, and food that reflects centuries of high-altitude life. These events provide authentic cultural experiences that commercial tourism can't replicate. While Chamonix and Zermatt offer expensive tourist experiences, Žabljak provides authentic mountain culture at a fraction of the cost, with better access to wilderness adventures. And now for our final destination. What you're about to see is so beautiful, it seems like it was designed by master artists from a dream. This is a town so beautiful, it seems like a movie set, where every building tells a story of maritime wealth and artistic perfection. Perast represents Montenegro's golden age, frozen in time. This tiny town of just 350 residents maintains Baroque architecture, so perfect it seems unreal. Every building is a work of art. Every street corner offers another impossible composition. The town's greatest treasure is an artificial island with an impossible origin story. For centuries, local sailors threw rocks into the bay after successful voyages, slowly building Our Lady of the Rocks from devotion and determination. The 10-minute boat ride to Our Lady of the Rocks reveals the island's incredible story. What started as a tiny rock outcrop has become a Baroque chapel surrounded by a small island, built entirely from stones thrown by grateful sailors. The chapel's interior contains artworks and ex-votos that tell centuries of maritime stories. Local women embroidered altar cloths with gold and silver thread, including hair from their own heads, creating artworks that represent ultimate devotion. Perast's Maritime Museum houses treasures from the town's golden age, when it was one of the Mediterranean's most important naval powers. The collection includes navigation instruments, model ships, and artifacts from expeditions that reached the New World. The town's position creates perfect sunset viewing from multiple Baroque terraces. The combination of architectural perfection and natural beauty produces photographic opportunities that professional photographers spend weeks trying to capture. Perast's restaurants serve seafood caught in the bay, prepared using recipes passed down through generations of maritime families. Dining on Baroque terraces while watching boats navigate between islands creates unforgettable experiences. The bay's protection from wind and waves creates perfect swimming conditions, while the Baroque architecture provides stunning backdrops for water activities. Swimming here feels like floating in a living museum. While Dubrovnik and Venice suffer from overwhelming crowds, Perast offers better preserved Baroque architecture with authentic local life and stunning natural settings. From Baroque perfection to mountain wilderness, Montenegro's greatest treasures await your discovery. You've just discovered Montenegro's greatest wonders, from Europe's southernmost fjord to its deepest canyon, from 1,000-year-old forests to impossible cliff monasteries. Each location offers experiences that rival the world's greatest destinations, but with authenticity and accessibility that's rapidly disappearing elsewhere. Here's what makes Montenegro truly special. All these wonders exist within a country smaller than Connecticut. You can experience Alpine peaks, Mediterranean beaches, ancient forests, and Baroque cities all in the same week, often in the same day. While Switzerland charges hundreds for cable car rides, Norway demands premiums for fjord access, and Italy's coasts overflow with crowds, Montenegro offers more dramatic landscapes, better value, and authentic experiences at a fraction of the cost. But this window won't stay open forever. Tourism is exploding, international investment is increasing, and these hidden gems won't remain hidden much longer. The Montenegro you've seen today will be completely different in 5 years. The question isn't whether these places are worth visiting, it's which one calls to your soul. Are you drawn to the spiritual heights of Lovćen, the pristine wilderness of Durmitor, the Baroque perfection of Perast, or the impossible architecture of Ostrog? Every location offers transformation. The Bay of Kotor changes how you see coastlines. Biogradska Gora connects you to ancient Earth. Skadar Lake reveals Europe's wildest ecosystems, and Žabljak shows you stars you've never seen. You're now among the few who know Montenegro's greatest secrets. You understand why travelers are abandoning traditional destinations for Europe's last undiscovered paradise. The only question remaining is this: which of Montenegro's 10 treasures will you experience first? Because once you discover Europe's best-kept secret, you'll understand why some places are worth the journey. Hit subscribe to discover more hidden destinations that will change how you see the world. Your next adventure is waiting.